It's Monday, July 25th, and this is Drive Check, a Cardfight Vanguard podcast. Well, what do you mean by good?
Are you prepared? I don't know. Are you not good? Do we need to
not good.
talk
I'm
about something?
starving to death. I'll be dead by the time this podcast is complete, so that's nothing to worry about. Are you safe from the flames of the apocalypse, which you called upon so frequently that they have now decided to come visit you at home?
I did. I'm safe for now. We'll see what happens.
Are
I
they
should be
moving?
good,
Are they moving towards your house, away from your house, around your house?
It's like it's towards my house, but it's not close to my house.
So Cole, I've only ever lived on the East Coast, and you've pretty much only lived in the Midwest, right?
Correct.
Does our Earth ever rise up against us in the places where we live? I mean, I understand like the oceans throw hurricanes at us on the East Coast from time to time, but that's the oceans versus the land. But the land in the Midwest doesn't rise up and attack, does it?
Tornadoes are actually pretty common.
That is the
in
sky.
Midwest.
That is the sky angry with the land and trying to exact its revenge.
Okay,
But
fair enough. But
it-
when it tears up the land, then the land has got to fall down. So
Yeah, but that's not the land doing it. It's just, it seems where Jack lives, it's like the land is like literally, if I'm not going to burn you alive, I'm going to shake until your bones rattle and break.
And then
Or-
I'm gonna deprive you of water until you all die of thirst.
I'm going to dry up all the water so there's nothing for you to drink.
Well, that also I think is the sky, though, wouldn't it be? because
Except that
lack
there's
of rain.
usually like rivers and such, which the land is supposed to cradle and hold.
But with lack of rain from the sky,
It's the circle of life, of water life. Water
everything the light
evaporates
touches
and then,
is our kingdom.
wow. It is important to have water if we're going to be talking about Bermuda Triangles, which is going to be our topic this week. We're finally getting around to it. And I want to say right up from the start that this year we're probably going to get it wrong. But we'll be back next year with more talk of Bermuda Triangles to improve upon the quality of our knowledge of the lovely mermaid ladies. But what have you
About-
guys been up to? Have
about
you
1
played
year
any
from today.
Vanguard lately, Cole?
no, I did buy 2 packs of Luck and Logic, and I got some pretty sweet pulls. So
Of
that's
Luck,
about as
Luck
much.
and Logic, that new Bushiroad game?
Yep.
Have they released set 2 yet?
No, that's coming out in the end of August. I think it's the same day as GBT08 releases in Japan, actually.
Ah. Well, next week you are going to be playing a ton of Vanguard.
Ton.
So, yeah.
What's next week?
Gen Con.
Is that next week already?
Yeah. And Cole
Oh,
and I are going to be
goodness.
hanging out and getting lit and getting faded and playing Vanguard. And it's going to be fantastic. And you're going to be at
Angel Feather
home with your
AF.
flaming earth. Just
No, I'm not going to be at home. I'm going to be at college orientation. Oh, yeah.
yeah, where the ocean
You're
is
gonna be
going
at
to
your
rise
new
up
home.
against you.
Yep.
So you had the opportunity to go to the Bushiroad Players meeting, which was held on
Also-
the 23rd, I believe.
Yes. So basically what that was, I just found out about this from my friend and previous special guest, Connor Morgan. He so apparently what happened was this was like a last minute Bushiroad event, and how it worked is you would enter with your specific deck and you would play. You started in, I think, so I don't remember what the ranks were specifically called, but so let's just say rank C, B, and A. So you start in rank C, everyone starts in rank C. And so basically what you have to do is you have to win as many games as you can. I think once you won, I believe it was 3 games, you moved up. So if you won a certain number of games, you moved from rank C to B. Then if you won a certain number of games against rank B players, you moved from B to A. And then by the end of the event, whoever had the most wins in rank A became the official clan leader of the clan. So Connor Morgan is the official clan leader of Royal Paladins, according to Bushiro.
He got a certificate for it. I saw that on Facebook.
So they handed out like certificates and stuff.
Yeah, so that sounds like the traditional format that they use. I know that they use a similar format for Pokemon competitions for the TCG in Japan. And what's also interesting is if you get knocked out, you can start from the C rank again until they get a certain number of people in the A rank who have met the criteria, and then that's it.
Yeah, but the thing is with this event, it was so last minute that they had to, like, some clans barely had any. I believe it was Neonectars only had 2 Neonectar players. So like some clans just like flat out didn't have a clan leader because they didn't have enough players to play games against other people. That's pretty nice. Yeah, just poor planning on Bushiroad's part, in my opinion.
They've got a target on their back for next year.
They just gotta, if they had like announced that sooner, and like, I don't know, like I think that was a really cool concept to have like clan leaders and stuff, and they just kind of bit the bullet on it.
Yeah, it didn't say much in the announcement that about the players meeting. It just said, here's the date for the players meeting. It's in Pasadena, and come on by. And they didn't really say what was going to happen. I know they had like Weiss stuff and whatever that other game is that Buddy Fight stuff. Yeah. So it was just an overall Bushiroad day. But yeah, they didn't give people from outside of California a chance to travel to get in there or anything. So
it's not even just that. It's that the event was announced like a week before the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's not enough time whatsoever. Like all their other things you have ample time to be prepared.
So you eschewed the opportunity to play Vanguard to go see a what is it? 21
Pilots
Losers concert?
Oh. Yeah. Yep. Ugh. That concert was lit AF.
No, their music is just so pedestrian. I do have to hold to my standard creed that if you don't enjoy music, the problem is with you. It's not with the musician. But they do not light a fire inside my heart. So
their new album doesn't really do it for me, and like because they just like recently became popular. But like their older stuff is like really good, and they had like a good like 20-minute like part of the concert was just their old stuff, and like you could tell that like all of these people that are just now like starting to like them because they became like more mainstream. No one had like any idea what their old songs were except from like me and like maybe like 50 other people in this like venue with like thousands of people.
That was a huge venue. Yeah, I saw your photos.
I was listening to 21 Pilots earlier, and then their more famous song to me was Car Radio, and it had like 60 million. And then one of their newer songs, which I have barely even heard of, had over 100,000 million views.
Exactly. On YouTube. And their new stuff, I like it. It's just not as it's good. Not as good.
Yeah, so I can't.
But that's besides the point.
I can't complain too much that you went and did that because
WWE.
I missed my opportunity to go to a Blessing of Divas pre-release so that I could go see WWE Battleground last night, and it was so worth it. I mean, it was like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me because WWE doesn't do that many shows in DC. And I got to see John Cena wrestle in the ring, and that is like such a dream for me to see John Cena. And not only did I see John Cena wrestle, I got to see Daniel Bryan in the ring, and he's such a huge hero of mine. I literally cried when he announced his retirement. I was sitting there crying my eyes out. But to see him, that they have him still working in WWE, and then to see him just out there and down there was so good. Such a great night for me. Didn't get home until 2:00 in the morning, so I'm real salty right now. Sis Cole and Jack are just keeping me from eating my dinner.
Whoa there.
But I do have a huge clarification to make because I made a mistake last week when we were talking about waifus, and I said that my waifu was in Persona, and I don't know what I had been smoking, snorting, drinking, whatever. My waifu is not in Persona. My waifu is in Concole. So I just wanted to clear that up as this week's errata, that my waifus are all from Concole. If you don't know what Concole is, that is the game where the girls are Japanese battleships from World War II. That is literally what it is, and you need to look it up. Kancolle. There is a Weiss Schwartz deck for Concole, so that's real cool.
There's 2 sets with it too.
Yup, because it's so awesome to have battleship girls. So what other news do we have? I'm going to do the first news item, and then Cole, you're going to have to do the second news item. So the first one is a lot of people were wondering if at the end of Stridegate, the Vanguard cartoon would be discontinued, and it turns out it will not be. They have announced a new season called Vanguard G Next. Not any details about it, but just the fact that it is going to exist. It will continue the story of Chrono Shindo and his pals as they age a little bit and go to high school and such. So kind of similar, I guess, to the shift to Link Joker after Asia Circuit for Aichi and all his pals. So what's the next news item? What else was announced and confirmed for you, Mr. Cole?
Rummy Labyrinth theme decks. Woo!
So you predicted that last week.
I knew the set was coming out. Are they actually theme decks? I knew the set for sure.
No, they're not
it's a
theme
set.
decks. That's why I
typed theme decks, but I meant set, yeah.
Yeah, the set for sure is coming out, and it's coming out, I believe it was March 17th. March of 2017.
And what's going to be in the set?
That's
just really far away, though, because they announced it in April of this year.
It's almost a year.
It's only far away when you're as young as you guys. I hate to let you know this now when you're still so young, but what you'll find out is the older that you get, the faster time passes. So March of 2017, when it's almost August of 2016, not that far away.
Yeah, but it's going to have Grand Blue and Pale Moon, so that's a good thing. So I can save my money for all them nice Grand Blue cards coming out.
Oh, I got a bunch of Grand Blue cards for you. I'm going to hand over.
Ooh.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
All right. Jack, what's our next news item?
Well, let me...
Oh, you can't look at the... You can't multitask. All right, I'll go for it.
I got it.
All right.
I got it. So the token rainbows.
I misspelled it on purpose.
Token Rambo set 2 and has been announced. And so I believe in a previous episode we kind of mentioned that. I don't know if we were recording, but so basically there was a lot of people were worried that Token Rambo was going to be like a one-off kind of thing, and Bushiroad kind of announced that they were in talks to do more with the game. They just have to figure out the licensing and all that stuff. But so they have figured it out because we are getting a second Token Rainbow set, and a Token Rainbow trial deck too. So that's pretty interesting.
And what is a token rainbow?
A token rainbow is a rainbow made out of Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
Oh, nice. I love Chuck E. Cheese. What is a token Rambo?
Sword boys.
Are they all dudes?
Sword people. I think they're mostly dudes, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they are mostly dudes.
I mean, that's in the Vanguard community, they're known as the sword boys.
Yeah. I mean, if you like dudes with swords, or if you like the Token Rambo anime, is it a cartoon?
It's a game.
It's a
video game?
Online Flash.
Yeah.
It's a browser game, that's what it is.
Oh. What is this, 2003? We don't do no Flash games.
2003.
Well, it transcends time.
Just like me, the planet Cray.
I miss my favorite website of all time, which was http www.suck.com, which is not bad like you might think it would be. So I've been thinking about the web of the late 90s. You can actually still go to suck.com and read their old articles, but the last one they posted was in June of 2001. And I still love that website. So, I mean, I've done the history of the web while you guys were still in diapers. Anyways, that has nothing to do with our program. We do have one more news item. Cole, do you want to hit that one?
Sure do. So, going along with the new season of the anime, they are releasing a new trial deck, and it is going to feature the Shadow Paladins.
Shadow Paladins made famous by Ren Sugimori. I can never pronounce his last name. I'm just going to call him Sugar Lips. Ren Sugar Lips. He's so sweet. After he recovers from season 1 of the cartoon.
Alrighty then.
Okay. So this is so previously the previous deck we had for Shadow Paladins was Ren Sugar Lips Legend deck, which is still super powerful, super popular, super expensive.
The legend of Ren Sugar Lips.
Ren Sugar Lips. And now we're getting a trial deck. So I imagine what is lacking with the Shadows right now that they would need to introduce a trial deck?
A lot of the Shadow Paladins, like more powerful builds, have kind of been power crept out lately, and because
Keyword?
they're Shadow Paladins, what?
Do you think they'll have a keyword in the trial deck?
Well, they don't have one yet. I don't believe. Do they?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, they do, don't they?
Set. They're coming out in this next set. So
there's going to be more Shadow Paladins. So basically, like the Revengers, like the Legion kind of build, Revenger Abyss was kind of power crept out. So they're going to just, I think, bring them back into the light because it's Shadow Paladins, so Bushiroad needs them to be top tier or they start losing their power.
So what do you think their keyword's going to be? Sacrifice?
It's going to be something to do with, like, when you, like, either, like, if you have less rear guards than your opponent, or if you must
fewer rear guards than your opponent. Okay.
Yeah. And then you must tribute a rear guard to you, like something like along those lines.
That's like Tachikaze's in Gorge, so.
That's true. Well, I mean,
they're very similar mechanics.
They are.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about this more so, I think, when it gets closer to the set 8
I just wanted
release.
you guys to pick a word and say, this is what I think it's going to be.
I think
Twilight?
Revenge.
You big My Little Pony fan there, Cole?
I'm not yet, at least.
I think
my
Revenge
guess
is too on the nose. Because they didn't, like, for Gold Paladins, they didn't use Liberate, right?
Well, that's true. That's true.
For Royal Paladins, they didn't use Jewel. Ugh.
Jewel
Knights. Ugh. Anyways, what is the topic of our discussion tonight as I grow less salty with anticipation of discussing the beautiful, beautiful ladies of the Bermuda Triangle? So
you're about to get more salty as we dive into the saltwater oceans.
Saltwater oceans. Well,
Magallanica, whatever.
Did you know that going to the Bermuda Triangle Academy, there are 2 magical items that become available if you are successful. If you are the successful idol group in the school Etoile Festa, you get access to 2 secret treasures left by the founders of the Triangle Academy. One is called Twinkle Powder. And when you sprinkle Twinkle Powder over your mermaid tail, it turns into legs so that you can walk and not have to swim. You can walk on land. And then they also have the Prism Pearl. And the Prism Pearl allows mermaids to produce their voices on land so that they can sing all over the world.
Wow.
And there's a contest, and whoever wins the contest at the School Étoile Festa, they get to travel all around Cray and to put on lovely performances for the different nations of Cray. And here's the most important fact about the Bermuda Triangles. It is said that the day their lives are globally broadcast are days where no bullets are shot in any place of the world. How beautiful is that?
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, Bermuda Triangles, they are from the Megalonica nation, along with Aquafarce, and Grand Blue. It's hard to make a funny word for Grand Blue, isn't it? Grand Blunder? I don't know. Grand Blah.
Can't say Grand Line. Grand Blahs.
Those are the only 3 clans of the Megalonica nation, I believe.
So far.
Yeah. Well, there's no room for any more clans, so that's it.
Yeah,
that's the only 3 they will ever have. So what else can we say? We're going to talk more about bouncing later, but I have no idea why you get so excited by that. But
they're just bouncing mermaids. It's nothing to get excited about.
The main concept and the way to think about Bermuda Triangle deck's mechanic is if you've ever watched Japanese idol singer groups perform, if you like J-pop, you know that a lot of the performance is about dancing and going into different positions and doing formations and things like that. So the Bermuda Triangles replicate that on the field, where a lot of the skills and effects of the cards allow you, 1, to pull cards back up from rearguard circles, and 2, call cards from your hand to those rearguard circles outside of the main phase. So during your battle phase, you can refresh your field of rearguard circles. So everything Bermuda Triangles do is typically around that concept, although it is informed by other acts that you can do. There have been how many sets of Bermuda Triangles now?
I believe 4, 5.
There have been.
I think there's 4.
No, 5 sets that were exclusive of Bermuda Triangles. And there were
then they got some support in set 2. Yeah.
Yeah, they were originally revealed in Booster Set 2 with 4 cards. So it wasn't even enough cards to build a deck around, but I think a lot of people at that time used them to support Oracle Think Tank at a time when multi-clanning was a little more acceptable.
Yeah, there's a couple builds I saw that used to use because after they'd attack, they'd go to your hand, and then the Oracle Think Tank cards would require you to have a bigger hand than your opponent, so that would help out a lot.
Yeah, and the original starter that was originally used for the Bermuda Triangles had an on-place effect that basically on place you could give any card plus 2,000, I believe. And they weren't a starter; they were just a grade 0. So basically, you could keep placing the card over and over again. And yeah, Blazer Idols. So that's the one when I talk about the Forbidden Print. Blazer Idols had the Forbidden Print in BT02, and that was fixed when they were re-released in Extra Booster 02. And their skill is when this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, choose another of your Bermuda Triangles, and that unit gets plus 2,000. So basically, if you can place that card from your hand on a rearguard circle, pull it back up, place it down again, you can keep adding plus 2,000 every time you do that. But Blazer Idols is fun because they've been featured in many episodes of the cartoon, and they're always the 3 girls that are together for the Bermuda Triangles. So we pretty much wanted to just talk about different decks. I guess they're called archetypes nowadays, or subclans.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you would build decks around within the Bermuda Triangle clan itself. The original concept for the first extra booster set for Bermuda Triangles was in the Pearl and Perla support, where they were cards that called for each other to be on the field to get their effects, but that has really died off and gone away. So, which one should we talk about first, Jack? Which deck is your favorite and closest to your heart?
Well, I think Prisms, we should probably... Reindeer's definitely closest to my heart, but I think... Well, I don't know. Do you want to go budget first, or do you want to go...
Yeah, let's start with budget.
Okay.
Because so then when people lose interest in us reading out card names, then at least they'll have the budget deck in their head already.
Oh, come on. We use fun voices. And make it
you have to remember to multi-pitch your voice, because that keeps people interested.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So the most budget deck as of right now is most definitely Reindeer. The Stride deck is going to get a little pricey depending on Olivia's price, but she's not completely necessary to the Reindeer strategy. Like, the most expensive card, I believe, is the pre-order for the new Reindeer card is at like $10 for the new grade 3, and then other than that, everything else is going to be like under $1.
Well, and of course, things are always more expensive the week between pre-release and actual set release. So
exactly, and so like even with the $10 price, that'll go down. So maybe I'd say under. If you wanted to build this deck without Olivia's, I'd say you could probably spend around $60. And you'd have a decent competitive Bermuda Triangle deck.
And you've played a Bermuda build before. You played specifically a Reindeer build, correct?
Yeah, and so basically what Velvet Voice Reindeer is the original Reindeer unit, and she came out, I believe, in the... I believe it was the first
extra booster.
Yeah, I think so. So basically what she does is the whole Reindeer strategy really revolves around checking grade 3s during your drive checks. And so what the original Velvet Voice Reindeer did, as we wait for this pop-up to go away, what the original Velvet Voice Reindeer did. So she is an auto Vanguard skill, and she says, choose one of your Bermuda Triangle rear guards and return it to your hand. When this unit's drive check reveals a grade 3, you can pay the cost. If you do, you choose a Bermuda Triangle from your hand and call it to an open rear guard. So basically, you use that to bounce a unit that's already attacked, and then you call another unit from your hand, whether it be the same unit or not. So basically, if you manage to drive check a grade 3, you get extra attacks. And so, like, this has always been a favorite Bermuda Triangle build, just because, like, it's always been pretty cheap. And now that with the new set, Reindeer's getting a lot more support that allow her to, whether it be drive check more grade 3s or just a good grade 3 that's a backup, and it just allows us to be even more competitive than it was in the past.
Yeah, it's just to keep in mind, it's somewhat difficult to drive check a grade 3, typically because you would only, a standard deck build only has 8 grade 3s, and Reindeer herself is a grade 3, so you're down to having 7. If she's on your Vanguard circle, you're down to having 7 grade 3s left in your deck to potentially drive check. That's less than 20% of your deck. So,
well, there's that, but with the new set comes a couple of new types of cards. So there's a couple of cards that,
but actually,
like,
before we get to that, let us clear up. Reindeer is in the second set, extra booster, Banquet of Divas.
Oh, just kidding. Will Zerata. Or Jack Zerata.
She was a common in that set, and she was reprinted, and you have to be careful that it's the Velvet Voice Reindeer is the one, because there is a different one, a new Reindeer that's come out. She was reprinted in Fighters Collection 2013 and twice as a promo card.
Yes.
All right. So what is the new hotness with Reindeer that's giving her the support and making her interesting again?
Well, do you want me to run through the deck list first, and then we can? Okay. So basically, we're going to start off with the grade 3s. You're going to have 4 Velvet Voice Reindeer, which is the original reindeer, the OG, the one that we were talking about before. Then you're going to move on. You're going to have 4 Peaceful Voice Reindeer, which is the new grade 3 that the deck is getting. Then you're going to move on to the grade 2s. You're going to have 4 Inspect Sisters Roble. You're going to have 4 Shyness Laguna Rabra. And then you're going to have 3 of the new Spica card that is coming out in the new set as well. Moving down to the grade 1s, you're going to have 4 Dash Sisters Rabble. You're going to have 3 Piping Hot Suifa. That's just a funny name. And then you're going to have 4 PGs. Considering this is like kind of the more budget build, you're going to want to just go with whichever perfect card you can get that's the cheapest. And then you're going to want to go with let me go back to the deck list. Talent of Perseverance Shandy, which is the stride fodder. So basically what stride fodders are, if you haven't been listening for a while, you discard them when you're going to stride, and they count as discarding a grade 3 for the cost of stride. And so
I just wanted to clear up Peaceful Voice Reindeer, which is your alternate grade 3 or your additional grade 3 you're going to play. That is, I'm going to say a brake ride. No, a cross ride.
It's not either of them.
Wait, but it requires a Velvet Voice Reindeer in your soul.
Yes, but it does. It's different though. It's not a. It's a kind of new mechanic that they introduced with the new Reiji support in set 7. And I'll get into more of what it does as soon as I finish this deck list. Before I was so rudely interrupted by Will.
Sorry, I got excited.
So for the trigger lineup, your most Bermuda Triangle decks are going to run 12 critical triggers. So just any critical triggers that you can run. I don't think, besides the Prism deck, there's not a specific crit trigger that you really want to run here. So just 12 any crit triggers, then 4 heal triggers, and then for your starter, you're going to want to run Colorful Smiling Frate. And for the Stride deck, this is where it gets a little iffy depending on what your budget is. You're going to want to run Rain Element Madu. And so basically you want to run Madu because Velvet Voice Reindeer is a 10k Vanguard. And so Madu just has really good synergy with any deck that runs 10k Vanguard. So you're going to want to run 2 or 3 Madu. And then Olivia, if you can get Olivia, I would run Olivia. But if you can't get her, it's not a huge deal because the grade 3s just do a lot of work by themselves. And you don't really need the strides as badly in this deck. And then we have 2 Fluffy Ribbon. Where did it go? I'm sorry. I'm on my phone because someone had to borrow my laptop. Fluffy Ribbon Somni, which is just kind of an on-hit pressure kind of stride. Then we run 1 Blizza, 1 Sabreeze, and then just a combination of G guards. So we have 2 Hand in Hand Leona, which is the new one that just came out in this set, and then there's 2 Medley Nasha, which is what came out in the Fighters collection, and then 1 Dismal. And so basically what this deck is, it's just kind of a more budget deck. And the main combo is really going to be the interaction between Velvet Voice Reindeer and Peaceful Voice Reindeer. And so I don't know, does someone want to read off Peaceful Voice Reindeer?
You want to go for that, Cole?
Yeah, just let me pull it up.
And so while Cole's looking that up, I just wanted to mention that Madu, the reason that you run a Madu as your grade 4 when you have a 10,000 grade 3
10K,
is basically you when you stride Madu, it allows you to take a grade 3 out of your discard and put it into your hand. So basically, you can keep recycling the cost to pay to stride over and over.
Yeah,
again
you're
every
not
time
losing.
You use Madu.
Yeah, you get to stride for free, not losing any hand advantage, which is really good.
But not if you use the stride fodder. So be careful about that. You do
so
have
use
to
the
discard
grade
a
3 if you can. Well, even then, if you discard a stride fodder, but you have a grade 3 in your discard pile, you can add that to
That is
back
correct.
to your hand. So it doesn't have to be the one that you discarded.
Okay. So, Peaceful Voice Reindeer. By the way, when I hear her name, I'm imagining something Christmassy. She's not Christmassy.
No, it's more like wet, like rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's a deer because she's a waifu.
Yes.
So it's like
DEAR.
Yes.
dear.
My dear rain.
My dearest
dear.
rain. Yes.
Oh, this episode's going to go on forever if we get
right.
into the world of waifus.
Once per turn, choose a card from your hand and put it into your soul. When your drive check reveals a grade 3 card, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to one of your rear guards, return it to your hand, and if there's a card named Velvet Voice Reindeer in your soul or trigger zone, this unit gets drive +1 until end of turn. Oh, so it can be in your soul or your trigger zone.
Yes.
Ooh,
So it's not a stride. Or, I mean, it's not a break ride. Like someone thought it was.
Okay, fine.
And
so wait, by trigger zone, they mean basically if you reveal a Velvet Voice Reindeer.
During your... So technically,
yeah.
not everyone does this, but technically when you drive check during your attacks, there's a specific zone that you're supposed to put your cards in, which is called the trigger zone. So basically, when you reveal a reindeer during a drive check, or when you have one in your soul, is when this happens.
Yep, and there's another one. Counterblast 2, at the end of the battle that your drive check revealed a card with reindeer in its card name. If this unit is stand, you may pay the cost. If you do, remove this unit from your Vanguard circle, and this unit gets drive -1 until end of turn.
So, to clarify, this is the rear guard circle. So if Peaceful Voice Reindeer is on a rear guard circle, and somebody else is your Vanguard, if that Vanguard's drive check reveals a card with reindeer in its card, you move Peaceful Voice Reindeer from the rear guard circle to the Vanguard circle. You don't remove her from the Vanguard circle. So it basically gives you another Vanguard attack.
Yes, which is why
-1 drive.
It's really good. Yeah, and then there's ways to get the drive back, the extra drive check back. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because then she gets her first ability back. So then if she drive checks a Velvet Voice Reindeer, then you get drive +1.
Yes.
Or yeah, if you have Velvet Voice in your soul, which you would because, well, whatever. She's a lovely lady. She can move back as she can basically restand a Vanguard in her own way if she's standing as a rear guard. And that's also cool because then that opens up a rear guard circle. So if you have an effect that's going to allow you to take a card from your hand into the rear guard circle during your attack phase, you've got an open circle to do so. Isn't that fantastic?
It is quite fantastic.
So other support in the reindeer deck that Jack has put together, I know one of the cards, I believe it's one of the grade 1s. Basically,
there's the grade 1, the Dash Sisters and Inspect Sisters.
So one of them, I know that if it's revealed as a drive check, it gets grade +2. So it
and then the grade 2
3.
does that as well. Yeah.
And then there's a grade 2 that becomes a grade +1, so it becomes a grade 3. So it just increases your opportunities to reveal a grade 3 in quotes to get those effects off. Other cards in this deck specifically call if you have a I know there's one that has if you have a Velvet Voice Reindeer in the same column, then it gives a power not Velvet Voice, Peaceful Voice. It gives
I think it's just a reindeer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's either of them.
Power boost, and then other things. So it's kind of like the reindeer subclan because it's looking for things to have the reindeer name in them. But yeah, right. Still, the Velvet Voice Reindeers are like $1.50. So that's your primary grade 3. So you're really saving money. And I bet the Peaceful Reindeer is gonna not be very expensive. I don't think a lot of people are going to be building a reindeer deck.
I will.
Well, yeah, but you build all the decks because you've got no self-control.
False. I have minimal self-control.
All right. So you don't have absolute zero self-control, but you are lacking in the amount of self-control that we'd like to see.
I'll take it. Yeah,
So
probably.
Cole is our never has ever played Bermuda's person. So Cole, do you have any questions about the reindeer deck before we move on to the next?
No, but I like the mechanic though.
Yeah,
especially with Peaceful and Velvet. Yeah,
so,
that's pretty cool.
There are other builds of other clans that rely on you revealing certain things during drive checks. But this just seems like so much support for reindeer, and it does that. It gives you that classic Bermuda. Take a card from your rearguard circle and then put something new down, so you get all those extra attacks. All right. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was duos. We didn't do a deck build for duos because they are more inclined as tech cards that you would build into another deck. Duos were introduced during, I believe it's the third set of Bermuda.
Whichever the one that had black and white different prints.
Yeah, well, the set name is Duet. The Diva's Duet. And all the cards had a white clothing printing and a black clothing printing. The cards are exactly the same. They just had different art on them. And the key thing about duos is a lot of their effects are based around doing something with a card with the same name. So, as examples, there's a card called Duo Beast Ear Lulu, where if you have a card named Duo Beast Ear Lulu in your hand, which you can reveal, then you can use that to counterblast rather than using up your damage. If you have Duo Nightwing Tangariro, Batman comes and helps you play Vanguard. No. Duo Nightwing Tangariro. I'm sorry, that's the one that pays the counterblast. I'm getting these mixed around. Duo Beast Ear Lulu powers up another Duo Beast Ear Lulu. Duo Nightwing Tangariro pays a counterblast cost. Duo Mini Heart Roan allows you to search out and Superior Call another Duo Mini Heart Roan. And Duo Temptation Right uses another Temptation Right to pay the cost for her skill. So it's basically just, the concept of duos is find another card with the same name and it will do something for it, or use another card with the same name. There are other duos out there that don't use that, and then they'll ask for cards with the duo in the name in order to do something. But that's the main thing around duos. There's not. Maybe next year, when we're more familiar with Bermuda Triangles, we'll come up with a better deck build. But that's what we have for now for duos, unless you guys have anything else to add.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, Jack, no, I got nothing.
The unfortunate thing is duos are kind of what happened when Jack and I weren't playing Vanguard when we were on Vanguard break. So that's the clan that we're least familiar with.
Yeah.
All right. So I think everybody's favorite build, I'm completely guessing and making that up off the top of my head, but I'm going to say it because they get a ton of support. Oh, actually, let me go back to duos one more time. The duos were the original set where Bermuda Triangles got legions. So they had two sets of legions in the duos. So, it's like the concept of two cards working as a duo together as well. So it was a legion support area. Prisms are a true subclan within the Bermuda Triangles because all of the cards for Prisms have Prism in the name. And Cole, can you tell us what Prism stands for?
They have like the...
I didn't know it stood for anything.
Oh, man. Okay, fine. It's Promise, Romance, Image, Smile, and Miracle. And all of the traditional Prism cards from the original release will have one of those words in the card name. So there'll be like a Prism Romance, a Prism Image, a Prism Smile, etc. And then their actual name.
I had no idea.
And I believe prisms are less about removing cards from the rearguard circle and more about just getting big power attacks. Am I wrong on that, or am I right on that?
It's kind of like they remove units to get big power attacks.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
as
so
opposed to they have a combination of the two things you just said.
So Jack has also come through with a prism deck build. You want to go through those?
Sure thing. So basically, prisms is like what most people are most excited for in this set, just because their new stride, the Vert stride, is a really powerful. Well, has potential to be really powerful. Whether you think it's powerful or not is like some people think it's not actually that great. But anyways, that's not the point. So basically, the prism deck list here we have. For the grade 3s, you're going to play 9 of them. So you're going to have 4 of the Prism Vert, which is your break ride. You're going to have 3 Prism Labrador, and then you're going to have 2 Prism Garnet. And so basically, you run the 2 different prisms that aren't your break ride. Like, they combo well with your stride. That's similar to Chrono Dragon Next Stage. So basically, you have two options to call depending on which stage of the game you're in. Garnet is a limit break 5, so you're gonna want to ride her when you're at 5 damage. In Labrador, you run more of her because you're gonna be at 4 damage more often, or you're gonna have your grade 4 the limit break enabler more often. And so moving on to the grade 2s, we have 3 Prism Princess Celtic. You're gonna have 2 of the grade 2 Spica, which is you'll see them a lot in almost every build. 2 Ideal Walking Weather Amelia, and then you're gonna have 4 Prism Image Rosa. For grade 1s, you're gonna have 3 Apprentice Idol Karen, 2 Prism Promise Princess Layette, 3 Prism Duo Loretta, 2 Talent of Perseverance Shandi, which is the stride fodder, and then 4 Prism Perfect Guards. For the grade 0s, again, you're going to have 12 crit. This time, you're going to want to have to run 4 of the new Prism Image crit that's just coming out in this set, because it allows you to search for either Rosa or the Vert Break Ride. And then you're going to have 4 heals, and your starter is going to be New Prism Sapphire. And then for the stride zone, you're going to run 4 of the Prism Vert strides, 4 of the Prism Labrador strides, 2 Olivia, 1 Sabreeze, 1 Sailor's Medley Nasha, 2 Hand in Hand Leona, and then 1 Dark Element Dismal. And so basically, this is like the more expensive build that Bermuda Triangles have, because all the cards are expensive because people hype up card prices. Anyways.
That's like the thing you're saltiest about is card price inflation.
Yeah.
So how would you describe the playstyle of Prisms, or at least this deck build? What's the intent?
Well, so this deck build of Prisms is a very, very combo-oriented deck. So basically, it revolves around using the new Vert stride to there's 2 combos. You have the Labrador stride that you use with not Rock Girls Trio. Sorry.
Ideal Walking Weather.
Yeah. So you're gonna run. So the Labrador stride combos with her, and it combos with Apprentice Idol Karen. Because when you attack with the Labrador stride, it allows you to bounce 2 units from your field back to your hand. And both of those units, when they are bounced from your field to your hand, you pay a specific cost to draw cards. And so basically it allows you to build massive hands. So you're getting 2 draws. So you're getting your 3 draws in one turn from your first start of the turn draw, then 2 draws from that. Then you're also going to have 2 more units in your hand because you just bounced them. And you're also getting 3 drive checks. So you're going to have a massive hand after that combo. And so the other combo that a lot of people are excited about is the Vert combo. So basically what Vert does is after you attack a Vanguard, you can discard 3. Or I don't know if you have to attack a Vanguard. But basically the stride says limit break 4, discard 3 cards. You return this unit to your G zone face up, and then you can ride a grade 3 from your hand and onto the Vanguard circle. And so what you want to do is you want to stride at the beginning of your turn over the break ride, and then after you attack, you ride a Labrador or a Garnet onto the Vanguard, and you get the break ride skill. And that allows you to get bigger columns, an extra Vanguard attack, extra drive checks, and just all around a lot of good combo cards. And yeah.
All right.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of versatility with the Bermudas, which I mean, it's why they maintain popularity, right? Because not only
it's definitely not because of their art or anything.
No. But it's also, you get multiple attacks, and you get, at the end you can end up with a big hand so that you can easily defend.
Exactly.
For the next round, so you can hold out and you can just keep doing those hits, have a big hand, then you can defend, and then just keep on going and wear your opponent down. Not a lot of action on manipulating your opponent's field there, so you're not retiring anything of your opponents, you're not locking anything of your opponents, you're not making it so they can't stand, but you're doing a lot on your own side.
Exactly.
All right.
And so the last kind of build that we have here, it's definitely not the most expensive build. It's also not necessarily a budget build. It's just kind of more of a cool build. So it is the Coral build. And so I don't know if you want to read that list off. Cool.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
So I don't have the full names for most of them, but we're just going to roll with it. All right, so you want 4 Coral, and you want 4 Coral.
They're 2 different corals.
I know.
They're 2 different grade 3 corals, and you're just going to... Basically, if a card has coral in the card name, you're going to put it in this deck as a 4 of.
Yeah.
So you're going to run the 4 different grade 3 corals, or the 2 different grade 3 corals, both at 4 of.
Yep. And then you want, for the grade 2s, you want 4 of the grade 2 corals. You want 4 active pink Lalana, 3 Spica, and then or 3 girls rock trio. And then for grade 1, you want the grade 1 version of coral, 4 of those. 3 active pink Lyrica, 4 of the perfect guard, probably the cheapest.
Yeah.
3 talent of Perseverance Shandi, which again is the stride fodder. Then you want for your grade 0s, 12 crits, 4 heals, and then your 1 coral starter.
Okay, so just to clear things up for our utterly confused listeners, the starter is named Angelic Star Coral. The grade 1 is called Fresh Star Coral. Grade 2, Shiny Star Coral. Grade 3s, either Aurora Star Coral or Shangri-La Star Coral. And then the new grade 4 coming out in this release that's coming out, Frontier Star Coral. So also keep in mind, if you have a Coral Assault or you have a Coral Berry Squire, those are wrong. Coral Assault is from Aquaforce. Coral Berry Squire is from Neonectar. So they do not belong in your Coral deck. And the main thing about Coral, the fundamental principle behind the Coral deck is that it is a ride chain. So that Coral cards will give you an opportunity to ride the next version of the Coral card if you don't have it in your hand. So they gain power by having cards with the name Coral in the soul, which I believe the grade 4 calls for, but primarily based around the the ride chain ability. So it is the Bermuda's version of a Tsukuyomi build. And I think we're going to see ride chains becoming more and more popular over time. They're coming back into fashion. That's the word. They're coming back into fashion. All right. Jack, do you have anything else to say about coral builds?
As I unmute myself so I can turn off my air conditioner. Not really. I more so am intrigued by the coral list just because of like the whole concept of ride chains coming back in fruition to the game of Vanguard.
Yeah, it's fun and exciting. I mean, ride chain is just like, it gives you that extra taste of consistency. That you can be sure that you're never going to have to G assist, or very rarely really cut back on the number of times you may have to G assist. So
exactly,
that's enjoyable.
One more thing, we forgot to finish all of the grade 4s, but they're pretty much like the rest of them. So you've got your 4 coral, 4 Olivia,
your 4 frontier star
coral, 4 the school Olivia, 1 fluffy ribbon Somni. That's a weird name too. Then you got your Sabreeze, and then 1 Sabreeze, 2 hand in hand Leona, 2 Sailor's Medley Nasha, 1 Screw You or Scry You, whatever you want to say, and then 1 Dismal.
Screw You.
Yep. All right. I apologize for cutting off before the grade 4s were read, but I think that's just what you guys should expect from me. So overall, I mean, if you're looking, we've talked about this many times before, but if you're looking to build Bermudas, keep in mind they only come out in 1 set per year, and as we've seen with the latest wedding set, Blessing of Divas, they do have a lot of special secret parallels and extra secret parallels, and I'm in a wedding dress parallels, and all different kinds of prints to jack up those prices and increase the demand for the Bermuda's cards. But as a former Bermuda player myself, they are fun to play. If you can get those combos off and get, the girls down onto the rearguard circles and or back up from the rearguard circles and back down and up and down and get all those attacks off, you're having a good old time. So, Jack, do you have anything else to say about Bermuda since you're a former Bermuda player?
If you're willing to grow a salty neckbeard, then play this deck.
Have you ever had a salty neckbeard? I
have. Oh. And I regret every moment of it.
Having seen you, I don't feel like you could actually grow a beard at all. I'm surprised.
Well, you see here, you have to. It's a requirement to play Bermuda Triangles that you have a salty neckbeard.
I played Bermudas and I was clean shaven, but maybe that's because I'm gay.
You have an inner. Fair enough.
So, Cole, do you have any other questions about the Bermuda concept, the Bermudas and their play style, or anything else?
No questions, but I when I first heard of them and saw them, I thought, ooh, those are little fan servicey. But then actually delving into the mechanics of them, they do seem pretty cool. I just don't think I'll ever play them.
If you had a lot of money?
If I had a lot of money, sure. Then I'll probably sell them and then make more money.
There you go.
If I had a lot of money, I'd play every clan because I like Vanguard.
Yeah, that's true. I'd buy lots and lots. Well, I wouldn't play Spike Brothers or Nova Grapplers. No.
Spike Brothers are so good.
No. I used to know a dude who was just like, no, not even going to get into it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Turn me off with Spike Brothers forever.
Maybe we'll save that story for next week. Or for the Spike Brothers clan review.
There you go. Or the Forbidden episode. Ooh.
The Patreon episode.
All right. So what is our term of the week, Cole? Let's survive this.
It is bounce.
Yes.
Bermudas like to bounce.
So yeah. I wrote something about bounce. What did I write? You can read that off.
Said bouncing is Bermuda's main mechanic in finding opportunities to return rear guards to the hand. They have additional skills that let you recall rear guards to the field or additional attacks. This is known as bouncing.
There you go.
Ooh.
So anytime I have mentioned bouncing and Jack has gotten excited, it was nothing to get excited about. It was just basically picking up those cards from the rearguard circle, and then finding an opportunity to place them down again in stand so that you can have an additional attack.
Hey, what's it to you? Maybe that's my thing.
Well, I mean, that's
picking up cards
fine.
and putting them back down.
That's enjoy
52
that.
pickup must be your game.
So, this works in similar ways to other clans like Link Jokers, which I am now becoming more and more familiar with. If you lock your own card after it has attacked, and then you unlock it, things unlock as stand, so then you can get an additional attack. So that's not bouncing, but it's the same concept. You get the opportunity to have an additional rearguard attack. And I believe Kageros, Jack, do have a similar restanding ability?
That's just with the Vanguard, though, not with the rearguards.
Nova grapplers are built around restanding constantly.
Yes.
That's their whole thing. But we will talk about that more as time goes on. I will let our listeners know that Jack and Cole both wanted to have waifu as the term of the week, and I put a hard no on that. So if you need to know what a waifu is, you will have to write in to Will, that's WILL, at pkmncast.com. That is our email address for listener email. And if somebody writes in asking for a description or explanation of waifu, then we will be required to cover it, as we are required to cover any questions that we receive during our listener email segment, which we would have.
I'm going to make a new email account.
No, that doesn't work.
You
that doesn't work that way. I'm an expert in computer forensics. I'll know it's you. And that was our listener email segment because we had no listener email this week.
Aww.
All right, so that's everything we had to talk about this week. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Please ask again that if you have access to iTunes or if you have an iPhone and you're listening to this podcast in the podcast app on the iPhone, you can go in and leave us a review, which gives us some visibility as people are searching for podcasts in the gaming area. And when they're looking for Vanguard podcasts specifically, there's not that many out there, but we don't want to get lost in the sauce. Or maybe somebody out there is just looking for a new TCG to play and they want to hear people talking about it, and then they're like, I wonder if I could, find Vanguard. There you go. There we are. And we're right in the front of their face with that beautiful art that Cole made.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to say also, if you are planning on going to Gen Con, I'm going to say it again. Don't be shy. Come over, say hello to me and Cole. We're going to be hanging out. Just find a way to meet up with us. We're very friendly people. We don't have to only talk about Vanguard. We can also cover other topics of interest. So we're good conversationalists in general and very handsome fellows. So
and I'll be wearing my bright orange shirt that has Rage on it. I don't know.
Are you going to wear the Rage
wearing
Candy Bar shirt?
Oh, yeah. That's the whole reason I bought it.
There is a very strong possibility that I may be doing Mario and Luigi cosplay with my friend Kay. I will not be playing Luigi, so keep that in mind.
Please take all the pictures and send me all the pictures.
No, Jack, if you want to experience Gen Con, you have to come to Gen Con and not go to stupid school orientations.
Be going next year. That is a guarantee.
I want to say thank you to SBJ and Nick Burgess for their assistance that they always give us in producing this delightful podcast. And Nick Burgess did make the music. I know he is working on a new album right now, so we will let everybody know when his new album is out in case you would like to buy that. You can reach us at the podcast Twitter account, which is at DriveCheck. It's at DRIVE_CHECK. And if you want to write to me specifically, I am at WashinTheSink, WASHINTHESINK. And let's do Jack next this time. Let's mix it up.
I am at drive_Jack.
And I am at Cole_McCune. That's COLEMCCUNE. I forgot what I was doing there. All right, thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Drive Check Podcast. I've become pretty.
Only you haven't.